Good morning and welcome to the video for Monday, June the 29th. This is going to be a video for our upcoming 6th graders. We're going to be working with this idea of ratios and percents and going back and forth between those. So one of the ways that we can represent the ratio is writing it like a fraction. So we could say that we have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 51, 52, 53 parts out of 100. And so that would give us a 53%. For this one, I would have a flat, and that is completely filled in. So it would be 100 parts over 100, and that is going to be 100%. This one looks a little bit odd, but we can count the 10 blocks along here. So 10, 20, 30, 40. So we could say that it is 40 parts over 100. And then our percentage that would go along with that would be 40%. So if we want to convert to decimals, this is going to be what we look at here, going back and forth between decimal values and percentages. So this would be 17 hundredths or 17%, 20 hundredths or 20%, 1 and 25 hundredths compared to 125%. 3 and 55 hundredths compared to 355%. So 0.1% would be 1/10 of 1%. So it would be 1 part out of 1,000. And so if I write that as a decimal, then it would be 0.001. So this would give us 1,000. This would be the way that we would write that as a fraction. So for 2.5%, what we are going to have is 0.02, because this would give us our 2% and then 5. So one other task that we would ask you to do is to go ahead and find the percentage of a whole number, or find out what the whole number is in relationship to another whole number. So that's kind of what we're looking at here. We're going to say 9 is 25% of what number? So if I can figure out what number I need to multiply 25% by to get to 100%, that would be the easiest way to do that. And so if I do that, I can do 25 times 4 to get to 100. That means I can take my whole number 9, multiply it by 4 as well to figure out what number 100% would be, and that would be 36. And we could also represent that here. So 9 is going to be 25% of 36. 14 is going to be 10%. Well, I can know that I can do 10 times 10 to get to 100%, which means my answer for this one I could do in my head by putting a 0 at the end. So 14 is going to be 10% of 140. For number 3, 3 is going to be 5% of a certain number. So what we could do is figure out what number we can multiply 5 by to get to 100. And so that would be 20. And I can do 3 times 20 equals 60. So for number 4, what we can do is actually figure out what 10% could be. If 12 is going to be 60% of something, we could divide by 6 to figure out what 10% is. And so if we did that, we would do 12 divided by 6 equals 2. And then we can do 2 times 10 to get us back to 100%, and that would give us 20. All right, so using something kind of similar, we can do this part. So 55% of 600. There's actually a math problem that we could do to just find that directly. What I would suggest that you do is you can find 10% by dividing by 10. So that would give you 60. And then you can do 60 times 5 to get 300. And then for the 5%, you can take this and cut it in half. 2.5% is going to be 30. So our 50% comes out to 300. 300 plus 30 would give us 330. It probably takes longer for me to explain it than it does to actually do it if you're used to working with that kind of thing. So for the 4% of 50, what we can do is figure out what the relationship is. So if I were to multiply a number by 4 to get to 100, that would be 25. I can do 50 divided by 25 to get 2. And so once I've done that, what I should be able to do, just to make sure I did it correctly, if I take my 2, which would be 4%, and multiply that by 25 to get it to 100%, that should get us back to 50, and it does. So those are the things I wanted to go over with you for today. I am not going to be doing any new videos this coming week. I'm going to take a week off because of 4th of July and moving and having to take care of some other things. So the 13th of July will be the next set of videos. So hope you have a wonderful 4th of July holiday. Hope you stay safe if you're traveling and enjoy the time that you have. Hope your summer's going well, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.